So quite how this is turning into a cooking show as well as a mukbang, I don't really know, but as you can probably tell, I'm just going with it, I'm just going with it. So what am I doing? This is my kind of go-to pasta sauce, and I'll talk more about why I'm doing this particular kind of pasta sauce when I sit down to eat it. But for the moment, I think the best thing to do is to sort of just show people really what the sort of base ingredients are. So obviously, clove of garlic, a bit of red onion. Okay, I'm going to stick the heat on, even though this is a little bit of Is that one going to work? No, this one is. Even though it's a bit kind of drastic. So then I'm almost out of capers. I like the big sort of the fat ones. Let's see if I can dig a few out. Yeah, a couple of capers to go in there. There we go. Just finish those off. And then next secret ingredient, which is anchovies. Love my anchovies. And really it's about how, oh, that's a bit too many. What about half of that? Really it's about how these ingredients blend together to make a particular kind of base for this sauce. So that needs to kind of fry down a little bit. I'll do the sauce first, and then I'll take a bit of time to cook the pasta. Now, this stuff is kosher, so I don't really know. I think it actually comes from Israel. And the reason that I bought it is, let me just go through the ingredients. Oil, so 2 types of oil: canola oil, olive oil, sweet red pepper, chili pepper, sweet paprika, spices, water, salt, dried garlic, acidity regulator, okay, citric acid, preservative, potassium sorbate, and antioxidant tea extract. So this is probably about 10% UPF. But when I explain what I used to cook with, I think it will become clear why I use it. So let's just mix that up a little bit. Harissa paste, okay? So you've got harissa, you've got garlic, you've got red onion, you've got anchovy. That's the base. Oh yes, and I also use a bit of oyster sauce, just for badness. For badness. Now, these peeled tomatoes, the muti ones, also been my go-to. I don't know what it is about them. It feels to me, I don't know, feel very authentic. Tastes great, feel very authentic. So you can either get the ones that are pre-diced, or you can get, like these, whole. Depends what they've got in the shop at that particular point, and then your job is just to kind of, I don't know, chop them up a little bit. and then let them cook down with the rest. And really, you know, that is the basis of your pasta sauce. And I will probably have that, well, I will have that with just some regular spaghetti. So there we go. Okay, we're back. Pasta cooked, ready to go. So the sauce you've seen, the pasta itself is just basic regular spaghetti. I try to chew as much as I can, and I find that with this particular pasta, it's Italian pasta, so it's kind of, it keeps its firmness, so you can actually, you can chew, you know, you can chew bits of it. Cheers. Wow. Oh. $30. Okay. I thought what I would do is try and, well, give you an update as to where I am on my non-UPF journey. So the book Ultra Processed People is a really interesting read. So Chris Van Tulleken, who wrote it, references the book Stop Smoking the Easy Way, where you're encouraged to smoke while you're reading the book, because at the end of reading the book, you won't want to smoke anymore. He does the same thing with Ultra Processed People. He says, read the, while you're reading the book, you should be eating ultra processed food because it'll have the same effect. And it happened to me within about 2 or 3 days. I literally didn't want to eat any ultra processed food anymore. I had been eating it while I was reading the book and it started to taste weird. I can't explain why that is, but I'm very glad that it had that effect on me. That was probably about 3 weeks ago. And weight loss has been slow. I'm not going to lie, it's been slow. But I kind of feel like I'm happy to do slow and steady wins the race, and slow without then putting anything back on again. But really, it's just about having changed my, as much as anything else, shopping habits. Because I now don't buy the same things that I used to. And the main thing, one of the main things that I don't buy anymore, is shop bought pasta sauce. Hence my my desire to share with you my recipe, and it's great. I mean, there's a bit left in the pan, and I'm almost certainly going to want to finish that because it tastes great. So I used to buy Lloyd Grossman pasta sauces. My particular favourite was puttanesca. Had some olives in. I haven't managed to create a pasta sauce with olives in yet, but I'm sure I will. I never looked at the ingredients, but I'm quite glad that I never looked at the ingredients because I think it would have put me off. Well, I know for a fact that it's full of preservatives and it's full of sugar and doesn't really do you very much good, which is why I've just switched over to this. And this is, you know, this is a perfect dinner for me because I had a fairly big lunch today, and so I don't need a major dinner. So just pasta and pasta sauce is absolutely fine. I'm probably doing 20 chews rather than 30 because the pasta is, you've got to think about doing 30 chews with this. It isn't necessarily the obvious number. I wanted to mention something else that happened today. And this was something I wrote about in my book, Thin Thinking. And it's this idea of comfort eating. I've certainly been guilty of this. I don't know whether you can relate to this as well, but there are times where I just use food for comfort. As in, I have a difficult emotion, and I know I'm doing this, normally related to stress or something, and I would just chuck something in my mouth in order to chew it. I don't know. I don't really know what that process is, but I've had a major change there as well. And that's how I know this process is working. So today, as per usual, my comfort food of choice has been crisps. So up until recently, I live in the UK, and we have certain interesting crisp variations that you may not have in the US, but one of them is cheese and onion. And I have become completely addicted to cheese and onion crisps. So that would be my go-to of choice. Now, I found the particular brand of crisps recently, or a packet, an empty packet, in somebody's house, in a friend of mine's house, and I decided to go and look at the ingredients, because this is a type of crisp I used to buy literally daily, and now I stopped buying them. So I looked at the ingredients, and it was quite sneakily done. So this is where the food company is sort of trying to fool you into believing that there's not that much bad in there. It's perfectly fine. I know that as soon as I start eating crisps like that, I won't be able to stop. So what I now do is I eat plain crisps, and I look at the ingredients, and they literally say potato, oil, and salt. That's it. So whereas previously I would buy these crisps and then want to buy them again and want to buy them again, the plain crisps are not addictive. I know that they're not full of UPFs because I kind of take it or leave it. You know, I really only bought them today because I had that desire to fill that void with something, and I refuse to buy UPF food now. I realised that, you know, weight loss is quite slow, as I said, on this process, but I looked at myself in the mirror today and I just thought, wow, okay, I can see how this process is making a difference and is helping you and is changing the way you look. So I'm happy. I'm very happy up until now. There are certain things I have question marks about. I was going to make a video on what I call the witching hour, which is that time between 4 and 6, or 4 and 7 when you come out of work. Somehow your blood sugar dips, you start to get really hungry. And that was, for me, the danger point. That was where I started to crave and eat the UPF, the chocolates, the crisp, that sort of thing, before I got home from work. And now I have a kind of snack that I make for myself before I go to work. But I'm not 100% sure on how UPF free this snack is. I'll tell you what it is.
Again, this is like more relevant for people in the UK. I chop up a banana. I add in some plain yogurt, a little bit of very simple honey, not very processed honey, just very simple honey. And then I add in some muesli. Now this is from Dorset cereals, if you know who they are. There's no added sugar. It is their most basic kind of muesli, but it's got dried sort of sultanas in it and a few nuts and bits. But I saw a piece of content today talking about the fact that this stuff is just full of sugar and it's rubbish. So I'm a little bit unsure. However, at this point in time, it does the job. It fills me up and it makes me not want to go and make pit stops for UPF food on the way home from work, because I make sure I eat it before I leave. So that's really where I am. It's been an interesting journey, you know. And I wonder if any of you are on the same journey that I am. And if you are, how are you finding it? It's pretty odd to suddenly not be buying the things that I've been buying for a long, long time, kind of on autopilot. I'm not unhappy about it. I think for me, crucially, it doesn't feel like going on a diet. It feels like stopping smoking. You know what I mean? It feels like you've had something that's been an addiction. You decided to stop the addiction. You don't have to have a huge willpower to keep it, you know, to stop doing that thing. It's just a decision that you make. Excuse me, you stick to the decision. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to end it there. Have a great evening if you've been eating along with me. Bon appetit. I'll see you on the next video.